The War Raiders take part in Jobber Mania.
Will Oni Lorcan even remember who he faced tonight?
And which of Shayna Baszler's former victims proved victorious on their way to take over New York?
Everybody, grab your blue tights and your gray trunks. This is NXT.
What's NXT?
What's NXT?
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to What's NXT for April 3rd, 2019. I am your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
And tonight, I'm not gonna lie to you, not the best episode of NXT.
Not the best take-home episode, no. It's kind of lackluster.
But we got through it, and it wasn't bad. It just wasn't the best.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good.
It was pretty good.
It was fairly okay.
It was just as high mediocre.
Of course, we know this is going to be a fairly promo-heavy show because you've got a lot of promos to air to hype up matches for NXT TakeOver New York.
Mm-hmm.
We even got a promo package for Pete Dunne versus Walter. I mean, that's how serious it is.
Mm-hmm.
But we got 3 matches, which is a match short of being a good, card.
Our standard's 4.
Yeah, our standard 5 is like, wow, you're going.
If you ever have just one match, it better be a really damn good.
Oh, and especially after less than 2 hours.
Yes.
God damn. So, we start off the night. Well, actually, you know what? I take it back. We got 4 matches. So, we start off the night with the War Raiders coming out. And we're like, okay, we haven't seen them in a while. And, what are they about to do? Promo? Something like that? No. Ding, 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 baby. We're about to have a match with the tag team champs.
Mm-hmm.
And so, who are they going to face? Lights come on, and Kayla Braxton does her thing, and we're like, wait a second. Jobber alert. They're already in the ring. They got no entrance. They didn't get names, no nameplates. The announcers didn't even say who these guys were.
No.
The best they got was the crowd chanting, let's go Jobbers.
Yep.
Let's go Jobbers. That was the best they got. So I called these guys blue tights and gray trunks. And blue tights takes a fairly good beating in this very short match. Before I break down a few of the, I've got like two things to say about this match. What did you think about it, Jerry?
I sneezed and it was over.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, squash doesn't even begin to tell you how quick this match was.
I was about to say the produce aisle was very, very short in this one.
So there's a spot, 3rd or 4th move maybe. I mean, they tag in with their cross forearm tag thing they do. And Rowe throws blue tights into this leg lariat from Hanson that was just wicked looking. It almost looked like, as Jerry pointed out, almost looked like a black mass.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was just a leg lariat that he spun into, but very awesome. And then to end the match, Rowe pops up blue tights into a power slam by Hanson. Pinfall, quick-ass victory. And War Raiders get on the mic.
Yeah. Pretty much, they had talked to Regal, and they called for their next opponents. So we're thinking, okay,
Well, they had a little bit of announcement build up into this.
Yeah.
They said our actions are going to speak for our, like, you don't have to listen because our actions. Okay. Maybe we should have left that out because they said it slightly more eloquently than I did. Not 100%, but slightly more eloquently than I did. But yeah, so we're going to get, I thought this was going to end up being a gauntlet match. I thought this was going to like take over the first half of this show. But no, we get Adrian Jowd.
Yeah.
Famous from us butchering his name when he faced Dominik Dijakovic, who we can finally say properly.
Yes!
That's the only place we've seen him before. Never seen Cesar Bononi. Bononi. Cesar Bononi. So this was a little bit longer of a match, but still a fucking
brutal
squash.
You know.
Let's see. We got the combo power slam / power bomb from Rowe onto both guys, where he's got one guy here, other guy gets stacked up by Hansen. And then we saw that backdrop that Rowe does, where Hansen goes up top and comes off with a leg drop, and then a stack up for the pinfall.
And then also Rowe did this like sick looking, almost hip toss type thing into just a knee to the face, and that just resonated.
I don't know how to call that. So like, guy goes for a punch and they block it by catching it with their arm and going under. He does that, but he keeps the arm on and he forces the guy to float over him with it like a hip toss almost.
Yeah.
And then he goes down, but then as his head comes up, Rowe comes with a knee to the face. Just high knee. That was sweet, yeah.
High knee.
High knee.
You said butt.
My criticism here is, who the fuck are these guys?
Seriously.
These guys are not Ricochet and Black.
They went
Definitely not Ricochet and Aleister Black.
They went to Costco before. It's like, where do you keep your jobbers? Aisle 5? We're going to get some jobbers.
We're going to find us 4 fucking jobbers and just feed them to these guys. And sure, it was fun, but they made no statement out of this.
We beat 4 guys that pretty much don't even total 1 Ricochet.
If they'd have beat the Street Profits, and then they'd have beat... who's another credible tag team? Do we have any others? The
I don't know, I forgot.
Yeah, there you go. Done forgot again. So, that would have been a statement. If they'd have beat a couple of established teams, but then, you don't want them to get beaten, but, oh, goddamn, this... Don't say we're going to make a statement and then beat the job squad. Like, this is
no.
Contradiction of terms. Your statement is, we can do the same thing you guys can do with these guys.
Yep.
So, up next is the aforementioned video promo for Pete Dunne versus Walter at TakeOver. This was awesome.
Yeah, naturally,
of course.
They do nothing but great video packages here. Like nothing but great video packages. I've never seen a subpar video package from NXT.
I've seen repeat ones where they've used previous video packages and spun just a little bit of new stuff in, but
they blend it or they'll add some new music to it.
Still, I call foul. I call foul though because they presented it like it was a no. I call foul on that one. But other than that, you're right. So, after that,
you're right, Jerry, but you're completely wrong at the same time.
Just with the one, and it wasn't a bad video package. It was just, it
was there.
Yeah. So up next, we got an interview outside with Candice LeRae, and she wants to talk about for some reason the WWE Championship.
She's like, oh, it's been my dream to have a WWE title. Then you're in the wrong spot right now.
And we have Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne overlooking this conversation, and they come up on her saying, so you're talking about becoming the NXT Women's Champion. And I'm sitting here like, pretty sure those words never came out of her mouth.
No.
She, for some reason, is talking about being the WWE Champion, which she's going to have to go through Daniel Bryan or Kofi Kingston for that.
Or WWE
Listen
Women's
to the promo.
Championship.
I don't know how this ends up getting aired. You retape the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
We do it all the time.
Chances are you'll see at least 5 or 6 cuts in this one.
So yeah, when we get to 100 subscribers and we start doing this show live, you'll see what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. It's bad, but they could cut that, or
consummate professionals.
Or they could just reshoot. They have that ability. They can reshoot 100 times if they want to. Maybe this was one of those reshoots, and they were like, "Fuck it, leave that part."
This is the best we're gonna get out of these 3, so we're just gonna stick with it.
Maybe. It's all right. It's Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah trying to, I guess, pick on her because it's 2 against 1, and they really don't have any legs to stand on because the singles competitors, they suck, and as tag team competitors, they're not all that great.
No.
But this is leading somewhere. Do you have any notes from this encounter here?
it felt forced and contrived and pretty much very generic. It was one of those situations where Candice LeRae decided she was going to challenge one of them, and she challenged Aaliyah.
Yeah, so they're saying that, they're better or something, or she doesn't deserve, Candice doesn't deserve anything.
Well,
she says
they called her a loser just like her husband.
Yeah, so she says she's going to earn a shot at the NXT Women's Championship, and she might as well start earning it by beating Aaliyah's, what did she call her butt? Posh or something?
Bougie.
Her bougie ass.
Yeah.
And Aaliyah says to Vanessa Bourne after Candice walks off, she says she's about to throw a hissy fit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who scripted that? The adjective hissy to describe fit is not something you would use when you describe your own fit. You might say I'm about to throw a fit, but you're not going to say I'm about to throw a hissy fit. Like, that's weird. Yeah. Anyway, that's what that was. And up next we had our second match of the night, Oney Lorcan with Danny Burch versus Jackson Ryker with Blake and Cutler by his side. And they kind of talked about how Blake and Cutler are the ones that beat Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch and sent them packing from the Dusty Rhodes Classic. And I'm like, I don't care about that because this is versus Jackson Ryker.
Yeah.
So
completely different animal.
I don't think he got involved in that match either. So
no, he didn't. He had like the stare down type thing going. He actually got involved with the one with the Street Profits, but not with them.
This match though, pretty good.
Yeah, for what it was, we had like we don't really get to see a lot of Jackson Ryker, so we expected a lot of power moves and stuff out of him because the dude's just jacked. We'll go ahead and say that right now. He's an impressive specimen in the ring at that point, but at the same time, his moveset's kind of bland.
He's a striker, but he's not engaging enough to be an entertaining striker. Like, The Undertaker's a good striker, but he is completely engaging with his character, so it's okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Riker's got this air of menace to him, but it kind of disappears when he starts pulling his moves because they seem, like, kind of robotic in nature to the point where...
To his credit,
yeah,
he improved the finisher.
Oh, yes.
For longtime viewers of What's NXT, we don't like Jackson Ryker's finisher, or the previous one, where he does a slingshot powerbomb off the ropes, completely uninspired, and he doesn't put any, he doesn't sell his own move, basically. His new finisher, however, he doesn't need to sell. Looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And we can say it now, or I can read through the finer points of the match and get to it. But they call it No Remorse.
Yeah.
At least I think that's what they call it.
Oh, they call it No Remorse. It was a sit-out choke slam, more or less.
Well, he said No Remorse, but he didn't specifically allude to the fact that that was the name of the move. He just said it, and it sounded like he was calling the move by No Remorse.
They said, there it is, No Remorse.
Well, yeah, but No Remorse is something you could say about the move.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit that with No Remorse, but he just shortened it to No Remorse. So I'm not positive.
There it goes! Time to make the donuts!
We think this choke slam bomb, a sit-out choke bomb, is his finisher.
And I think No Remorse is a cool name for it, especially since they, the Forgotten Son. It just sounds like a good, cool name for it.
So we start off this match with Ryker basically no-selling a whole bunch of chops by Oney Lorcan. And he ends up going for a suplex, but ends up draping Lorcan over the top rope. So from this point, Ryker starts zeroing in on Oney Lorcan's midsection, and he does a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
And this story gets told very well in this match.
Yeah.
Like, they said before the match started that this was going to be like an instant classic, or I can't remember how they said it on commentary, but they were hyping it up pretty good. I'm like, it's going to be so good. Why is it in the middle of the card?
Most of these mid-card matches lately on these shows have been pretty awesome.
I really wish this had been the main event, honestly.
Because you gotta look back at our past week of NXT UK with Noam Dar versus Mark Andrews. Granted, it was the main event for the evening, like match-wise, but then they had the contract signing right afterwards. But that was just a beautifully crafted match, and that was like right in the middle of the card. So.
Well, I don't understand how Riker can't sell his own finishing move when it was that slingshot.
Powerbomb?
Yeah. Because he hits this gut buster, and we're talking a fireman's carry thrown up into a gut buster, and he sold great.
Yeah.
He does a bear hug. A classic, no-nonsense bear hug.
Yeah.
And he makes that look like it's devastating.
Yes.
But when he does the slingshot powerbomb, nothing.
It felt effortless, whereas this actually looked like it had some torque and stuff to it.
Well, for most of this match, Riker just works over Lorcan's midsection, and then towards the end, Lorcan finally gets, his second wind, which is funny because his lungs and his breathing ability have been worked over all match. But anyway, he gets his second wind, and he starts coming back. He ends up landing these elbows into the corner, like Riker's set up into the corner, and he's running in, and they're like these back elbows, but basically it's kind of like a splash that he's doing with his side, which makes no goddamn sense because he's hurting himself every time he does it. He lands 2 of these, and on the third attempt, went to the well too often, Riker comes out swinging with a fucking Polish hammer to the chest and just turns Lorcan inside out. Picks him up from there into the sit-out choke bomb, the no remorse.
Yep.
And that's your match, folks. 1, 2, 3. Jackson Riker wins, and he looked good here.
Yeah,
this
he
was
did.
a good match.
Yep. I was about to say, like, there's an attempt at the Forgotten Sons to pull something on the outside, but then Birch kind of intervened, and at the end of the match, Birch went to go check in on Lorcan, and we expected some sort of post-match beatdown, and it just didn't happen.
It looked like Jackson Riker wanted to do more damage, but Cutler and Blake were preventing him from it, and I'm like, why? Why would you prevent him from it? It's 3-on-1 at this point. Like, you could fuck up Danny Burch.
It's a victory. The referee could have easily
But they're the Forgotten Sons. They're heels and shit. Like, you've got Danny Burch sitting right there. Oni Lorcan is out on the mat. He's not doing nothing. And even if he tried, it'd be, at best, 3-on-1.5.
Yeah.
You had the perfect opportunity to just take out Danny Burch and extend this feud a little bit.
No.
No reason not to turn this into a feud. I would watch the next match.
Who would you add for a third person for Lorcan and Birch to have with them against Forgotten Sons?
No, I want to see Danny Burch versus Jackson Riker.
Oh, that'd be really great too. But if they had a 6-man tag, who would you put in?
Well, first I'd have them come back maybe a month or a month and a half down the road, like he really injured them during these bouts. And then see where the division is at that point. Because we've got Mania and the Raw and SmackDown after Mania coming up. And you're calling for a lot of call-ups. I think there should be minimal 2, maybe 3. 1 for each show. Because we've already had like 8 or 10 call-ups in the last 2.5 months. And fuck, they are draining NXT. No more. Leave some people there that have star appeal. So you have entertainment built around building up the next generation of star material. Just saying. But you never know where the landscape of NXT is going to be in the next couple of weeks, especially in the next couple of month and a half, 2 months, when they would come back to actually finish up on this feud. So, maybe Matt Riddle.
That'd be interesting.
If he doesn't win otherwise, I don't know.
We'll see what happens. But, you're right. That'd be really cool for you to go ahead and continue with. At least they'll be doing something.
So, after this, we get, just an ass load of video packages. So, be prepared for that. Just know that they were all great. But still. First one starts out as a video package of Triple H making the main event for NXT TakeOver New York. And basically ends up as a promo package for that match. Really long video package. But yeah. Great. Just nothing we haven't already seen. They just, this would be something for somebody to watch who hasn't been watching. Otherwise,
we did find out that Ciampa's reign was 237 days.
Several days too short.
Yes.
Several days too short.
Entirely too short. Yeah. No.
Maybe not dozens of days. I mean, I think if on the path they were on, Gargano should have beat him at TakeOver for the title if that match had happened. But other than that, anyway, after that video package, we get one for the North American Championship being defended by Velveteen Dream against Matt Riddle.
Is it weird to say I'm actually more excited for that than the 2 out of 3 falls for Cole and Gargano?
No, on an NXT takeover, that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
A mid-card match be your favorite match or the one you're looking
for.
Well,
usually, but that's the weirdest thing because usually Gargano is like towards the middle of the card.
Well, I mean, every year and I know it's only been 2 years, but every year when takeover, War Games rolls around, War Games is always the main event. And it's like maybe middle to towards the bottom of the matches I'm most looking forward to. Because they always have such great storylines going in for even mid-card matches.
Yeah.
Plus the people that are in them. Like Velveteen Dream every fucking 2 to 3 months or 3 to 4 months at a takeover. So anyway, Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle. Again, great video packages, but nothing new. Just building the matchup.
What I really liked about it too is the fact that it kept Riddle's talking like light. Okay?
Didn't stop us from hearing the word bro like 7 times, but whatever.
But even then, like they didn't have him droning on and on and on. Versus they just had him get right to the point. Yeah, he threw in a couple bros, but that's his thing.
And a lot of shots of the amazing shit he's been doing in the ring over the last couple of months.
Oh yeah. His match against Kona Reeves this past week was...
They showed a lot of that.
That was great.
For some reason, they didn't want to show Kona Reeves' face, though. They just wanted to show Matt Riddle beating him up. So after this, we get an interview outside, I guess, with Keith Lee. An update. So they're asking Keith Lee about this match that was supposed to happen between him and Dominik Dijakovic. And he says they got bumped. And I don't know if they got bumped from the show that he's talking about now, like tonight's show, or was it last week's show? Because we thought it was going to be 2 weeks ago, but then we got that shuffled in show that created the main event for.
And that's what I think he means by bumped.
And so, fuck, man. So he said he finally went to Regal and he got a match, and in 2 weeks' time, we are finally going to see the rematch, Dominik Dijakovic versus Keith Lee.
Just shy of 2 months.
Yeah, 7 weeks apart. But hopefully it'll be worth it. If Keith Lee is injured, maybe we won't even see the match. It's just going to be something that makes more build for the next takeover in 3 months.
I think it was a combination of a couple different things. One, I think it was the fact that the match was already bumped because of the circumstances with Ciampa, and they had to get that airing out of the way. 2, Keith Lee may have been injured, and he wasn't medically cleared to actually wrestle for that match for a couple weeks, which is possible as well. So I'm okay with this as long as we're getting them both in top form, and it's gonna be superb. It's gonna be a barn burner.
You're okay with it if it turns from 7 weeks apart to like 17 weeks apart?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So I'm hoping we actually get this match in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, we have 2 more announcements. Next week, we are going to get the Street Profits versus Fabian Aichner and Marcel Bartel. So I think that's going to be an awesome match.
That should be the main event, and I think it's going to be the main event for that night.
Hope that's the main event. I
want to rate that match. I want to rate the hell out of that match.
But we have another match that we know about next week, and we alluded to this earlier. It will be Candice LeRae versus Aaliyah, probably with Vanessa Bourne in her corner, and hopefully that's the middle match. Cross your fingers. Or the opener. I'm fine with that.
I see it opening.
Not because of Candice LeRae, for God's sakes, not because of her.
Well, the opening of next week will probably be like the new champion. No, it won't be, because it'll be like the last probably show that they filmed before TakeOver.
Possibly. What we do know is that the dark matches before TakeOver New York are actually going to be for NXT UK.
Yeah.
So I had to remind him of that like 2 or 3 times tonight. That was fun.
Fourth time right there.
Oh, the funnest part of the night was when we rolled up to Steak and Shake to get our food.
Ah, yes.
And it
Little
was
side story
I
here.
mean, I won't go through the whole order because it was so hard to get the order right, and it just kept
For $13 worth of food.
But once I finally started getting, I thought I had the order right.
Yeah.
And he said, "Does everything on your screen look correct?" And I said, "There is no screen." I don't know if you know Steak and Shake, but there is no screen.
All we have is a speaker box out here,
McDonald's
good sir.
has a screen. Taco Bell has a screen. I think even Burger King has a screen.
Burger King has
at
a screen.
this point. But no, Steak and Shake has no screen. And I think at this point, his supervisor or somebody else got on the line.
Yeah, she just
She's
stepped
like,
in.
"Let me finish this order real quick before the line gets too damn long." And that was super fun. Laughed a lot. No fucking screen. So, up next is the main event. And I actually have a lot of notes for this, but it ended up being truly underwhelming. And we all saw it coming. I saw it coming before the match even started. I asked this man, I said, "Hey, you think we're going to get an honest-to-God pinfall victory here?" He said, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course." I'm like, no, I don't think so. We've got Bianca Belair versus Kairi Sane, and this is giving somebody the last bit of momentum heading into the Fatal 4-Way match on Friday at NXT TakeOver New York.
Yes.
Nobody's getting a clean victory here.
No.
In fact, there's only 2 of them out there, and there's 4 of them in the match. So, we will get to that.
Yeah.
But before I break this match down, I've got almost a page worth of notes, believe it or not. What did you think about the main event, Jerry?
I think we talked more about the promos, the entrances, than we did the actual match itself. Seriously, there was like a pause when we started talking about Bianca Belair's new Titantron.
Yeah.
And you brought in,
music.
you brought in the fact that it's like, oh, there's more whip cracks, and I was like, wow, I like her new logo, and you paused it and just went over all the intricate details.
Yeah, okay, so they've changed her entrance slightly. She has a couple extra whip swings, because they're not really cracks, but there's swings in there, and if you listen to it again, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then the whip crack, and then she's got a new Titantron, like the text, the font is different, and the end of her name, it comes down with a after the last swoop on the R, it comes down with what looks like braided hair.
Yeah.
But they're so lazy, because all of the Bianca and Belair is all some font somebody created that's not WWE. They just probably took it off of software that they paid for.
Yeah.
So they can do this. And they thought, okay, let's add a braid. But they were so lazy about it, instead of figuring out a way to cartoon the braid into the font, they just put one of those lens flare flashes there. And so it just covered up whatever might be. I don't know. I'm particular when it comes to
they didn't
logos.
blend it well at all. But even then, like Kairi saying, she's got that the same, pirate gimmick and everything. So
I'm just particular at this stuff. That's why it's been 7 months and we still don't have an NXT logo or an aftermatch logo. Because if I unveil a logo, it's going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's get to the match. It is the main event, and we will be rating this. But we're going to have to rate this. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, just the highlights, because there's a lot of match before any of this happens. I've got a spot where Kairi hits the Interceptor Spear, does a basement drop kick, which sets up Bianca Belair like seated into the bottom rope. So Kairi comes with that sliding elbow, or sliding, it's almost like an elbow lariat, whatever you want to call that, into her, which sends her outside, and then Kairi runs off the apron into, they called it, what kind of kick? Somebody's name, because she does it again later. She comes off the top, a kabuki kick. Kabuki elbow.
Kabuki elbow, yes.
Yes, I am so sorry. A lot of notes. Kabuki elbow. And it didn't look like anything from the angle that they shot it at.
No.
But I guess the elbow comes right here, right in front of her. So when she comes off, it looks like she just kind of lands into Belair, which was fun. But then Belair falls back and comes this close to whacking her head on the steps. Mm-hmm. And that's where it got real. So, back in the ring, Kairi puts on the anchor. which is like a cross Boston Crab. And then Belair escapes, and then she does this fucking power slam. Just, Farouk would be proud. Does this power slam for a near fall. And then Sane goes up top, and Belair catches her trying to do a diving crossbody, and she lands a fall away slam. That was pretty cool looking. She goes up top, and Bianca goes for she doesn't go up top. She goes for a running frog splash, which I thought was interesting. Might be the first time I've ever seen that. But Sane gets her knees up, so she counters. And then we had this rope botch where Kairi Sane's over at the ropes and Bianca Belair's running at her. And Kairi goes to pull down the top rope. But Bianca Belair's not that tall. And instead, Bianca goes through between the middle rope and the top rope. You know, she goes through where she's supposed to, and it looks stupid as hell.
Yeah.
And she kind of tumbles lazily to the outside. And then for some reason, Kairi's hurt in the ring, and Belair just gets back into the ring.
I think that's just by time to...
Picks her up.
Yeah.
I mean, Belair took like no damage from this. And she goes for a vertical suplex, but Kairi counters it into this wicked rolling DDT that looked like it had put Belair out, like she was out for a few seconds. Because the ref was over there talking to her, and her lips weren't moving. And you couldn't tell if her eyes were open because of the way the camera was shooting this. But anyway, so Kairi ends up doing a couple of running blockbusters. And I think she did 2 of them just because she botched the first one. When she jumped over, she ended up landing underneath Belair. And Belair had to roll over her, and it didn't look right. So she did another one, which looked okay. And then she does the sliding elbow again, which I think they called it like the sliding D. Something like that. Only this time in the corner. And she actually hits it, and I'm like, what the fuck? You go to the well twice, and you're not supposed to hit it the second time, but what the fuck ever. And then she goes up top and comes off with, again, a second Kabuki elbow. Gets a near fall.
Yeah.
No counter on the second moves of either one of these. But whatever. Then Kairi goes up top for the insane elbow, but Bianca follows her up, and she ends up hitting this superplex. But Bianca's actually seated in the corner. Like, her legs are on the outside where Kairi Sane's legs are, and she's seated on the top turnbuckle. So when she releases the suplex, she's hanging in the tree of woe.
Whoa!
But then she abs herself back up, and then just to do a backflip off of the turnbuckle, and then do a moonsault onto Kairi Sane for a near fall.
That was actually kind of impressive.
Quite a bit of this match was impressive, except for the ending. So, let's see. And then she picks her up. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's the ending. Bianca Belair picks up Kairi Sane in a double chicken wing, and then drops her on her face. And then here comes Shayna Baszler.
Yep.
And Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. And Baszler takes out Belair. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir pick up Kairi Sane. And then now they've got Kairi Sane, like something's going to happen to her. So now Io Shirai comes out and she attacks. And this breaks down into a 6-woman brawl. And then from there,
referees.
The entire NXT women's locker room empties out. All of them in like latex and t-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, like what do they call them? Yoga pants and t-shirts. And they all start getting laid out by these 6. And then fucking Bianca Belair picks up, I think it was Lacey Lane.
Lacey Lane chucked her.
Like, all of this is spilled out to the outside just in front of the apron. And Bianca Belair military presses Lacey Lane and throws her over the top rope into everybody. But then turns around and there's Io Shirai, who back fists, or no, just a punch. Like a forearm.
It was a sambo slap. It just
clocks her, knocks her out. And then she goes up top and lands a moonsault onto everybody.
She nailed her to face 5.
And then she notices that the NXT Women's Championship belt is sitting on the apron in the corner. So she goes over and picks it up and gets in the ring and poses for it, while Kairi Sane looks like a chump outside because she's back on her feet at this point. But I'm like, Kairi, get in the ring. Tell her, no, that's not your title. That's my title. No, she just looks on like, oh, it's okay for you to... I know you're a face, but you can't just like be shat on by Io Shirai like that.
No.
Get in the ring and tell her, hey, it ain't you, it's me.
I think that's the only element of story in that match right there, and that's...
What a chump.
Yeah.
All right, chumpette. So, that concludes the main event. And on What's NXT, we rate the main event using the General's 5-star rating system. Jerry, out of 5 stars, where do you rate this poor main event? You know what? Not poor. It was great up until the ending.
It was okay.
Despite what I thought it was going to be, it was actually great up until the ending. But fuck that ending, man. Where do you go with this?
2 3/4.
Wow, that's pretty low. For NXT, that's pretty low.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, and I think that's the second time we've actually ranked the women's match, I think, that low. So, but at the same time, this one didn't really show me much of anything. There were so many different botches going on in it. And these are 2 of the participants for a fatal 4-way that's probably going to be, like, right before the main event of, like, NXT TakeOver if they've been doing it the same way they have been. And then for it to break down like it did, yeah, but towards the middle there, that wasn't very shocking. I knew there wasn't going to be a finish because I still got to sit there and dwell on it while I was thoroughly not enjoying the match. So
2 3/4.
Yeah, so even like I could even add the extra quarter star because there's a lot of video packages. The video packages were great, but they couldn't really save the entire show. So 2 3/4. Because also, I'm just not a Kairi Sane fan.
And the random appearance of a Wild War Raiders didn't really help because the squash matches were just like, yeah, of course that's what's going to happen. These guys have no names.
It was fun.
They either have no names or names that are impossible to pronounce.
It was fun to watch them get tossed around, but it wasn't enough to really save the entire show to the point where you get the extra quarter star, more or less. And there was no, if you rank much higher, I'm going to be shocked.
And the Oni Lorcan Jackson Riker match could have been great if they'd have given it more time. And if it had been in the main event, it probably would have had more time. But it wasn't. It was mid-card.
Yeah. And
we are rating the main event. And I wouldn't give an extra star off of the show being great or anything like that. And this was better than middle of the road at best. But I feel like I have to have enjoyed it better than 2 3/4. I'm going to give this 3 stars.
All right, so
it's the best I can do.
Yeah.
It didn't tell any story. I mean, you're going into a fatal 4-way for the women's championship, but this really doesn't tell any story in the match at all.
3 stars. That's what you're giving it, Rick Harrison? That's the best you can do?
That's the best I can do. So, that brings us to the end of this episode of What's NXT. Join us tomorrow for our NXT party where we review NXT UK. I believe it's episode 36. Or 37?
37.
37. Our favorite number. And if you'd like to be up on the big screen and help us review an episode of NXT UK, you can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to find me on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted because I say a lot of fuck bombs. You can also find fuck bomb. You can also find this gentleman on Twitter.
At NoDQGeneral, and also on my Facebook page, or group, Armbar, capital ARMBAR, exclamation point.
Bomb. Yeah, exclamation point, by the way, yes.
Just find us on there. We'll get you in there. A whole bunch of different discussions. Great people, great memes, and then Armbar Radios are kind of taking off. We're actually doing a lot more live videos as we go along.
Awesome.
So, because Colin, I know, did a couple tonight. So, those are always entertaining to watch.
You know, I'm an administrator in Armbar, but I do very, very little administration work. Occasionally, I accept people into.
Well, I've almost rejected 2 people. One girl said her favorite wrestler is Ronda Rousey. And one dude said his favorite wrestler was Yes.
To me, if they want to tell me that their favorite wrestler is Ronda Rousey right up front, knowing that they got to Armbar through this channel, they're getting rejected immediately because it's his group. I'm just an administrator. This is his group, and you don't play that game.
No.
You don't come in knocking on the door saying that the code.
You'll knock on the weed man's door. You'll knock on the weed man's door and say DEA.
Let me give you a hint out there. If you want to get to the armbar, the secret password is, my favorite wrestler is anybody but Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
Even though this guy predicted Ronda Rousey is going to win the main event at WrestleMania.
Check out the prediction video.
Definitely check out the prediction video. We did that with Noah before we watched NXT. Yeah, we get stuff done. If you want to be a guest, we will get you on the screen as soon as humanly possible. We will even watch NXT UK on Wednesday night so that Thursday night, as soon as we get off work, we can do the video. So if you'd like to join us, let us know down below if you don't have Facebook or Twitter. Email. That works. That's how we got Chris Mace.
Snail mail, whatever.
And if you like our video, click the like button. That's underneath me. If you like all of our videos, you should probably click the subscribe button. That's underneath Jerry. Yeah, under the pin there. Pin drop. Yeah. That's how few people watch our video. You can literally hear the pin drop.
Oh, are we talking about virtues?
If we want to get more people, we have to share. So there's a share button in there just before Jerry and his pin. So if you know anybody that likes NXT, share this video with them. See if they like what's NXT. And if so, maybe they'll join us next time. Maybe they'll subscribe. Subscribe to Aftermatch Wrestling. That is our channel. That's where these videos go up about a half a day early. So if you want to get them early, if that's a perk for you, there you go. Also, we do original content. We've got a lot of rated R reports. We did about a 20-minute one with Noah after we did our predictions.
We had to.
So not all the rated R reports are going to be hour and 7-minute long. This one's going to be 20 and some change.
Yep.
Just happens to be whatever amount of time we have, or before the first person does that good yawn.
Well, I was about to say, like, for this past one, if you guys are interested, it's more about, like, final predictions that we made for WrestleMania, and also covering the hot topic right now of John Oliver. So that is definitely it's definitely worth checking out.
So all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. At 100 subscribers, we are at 66. We gained a subscriber while we were filming.
We lost one earlier, and we gained one back.
So we are at 66. We're 2/3 of the way there. And once we hit 100, we will start doing this show, What's NXT Live.
Yeah.
I believe we said that during the show. So reminder, we will start doing it live at 100. So subscribe to Aftermatch. Thank you for watching. For the General, Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. And we will see you NXT time.
Support No DQ.